And you're watching Let Freedom Ring.
That's
Let Freedom Ring.
And welcome to Let Freedom Ring. I hope everybody's having an amazing week out there. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful spring weather. It's been really nice. But my guest this week, the head coach of the Angry Pelicans Londonderry mixed team, Gary Russo. Gary, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is going to be fun. We just wrapped up a game at Nelson Park, but we're ready to record. But let's get to know you a little bit, Gary.
Ready for another game.
Yeah. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Hey, I was born in California. Grew up in Lawrence, kind of till I was about 10. Moved to New Hampshire, Derry. Went to school there for a little while. Moved to Plastow. Did 7th, 8th, 9th there. Came back to Derry and finished school there. But yeah, I live in Manchester now.
Nice. Now we talked before, so you at some point wrestled for Timberlane?
Yeah, I wrestled Timberlane. I want to say 7th, 8th, 9th while I was there. Yep.
Okay, because that's always known as like, even today, I believe, when I was coaching too, they've always been the premier school, probably not even for New Hampshire, but New England for wrestling.
It was right in the middle of the super eliteness, we'll call it. But yeah, it was definitely a decorated team.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In school, actually.
I'm sorry, I broke up just a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay. I panicked there for a second. Yeah, no, they were always powerhouse. They had a kid, Matt Smith. I don't know if you remember him. He was a little older than me, and he went on to wrestle for Penn State for a little bit, and then he came back and he created Smitty's Barn. Have you ever seen that? They really like develop these wrestlers, and it's not just Plastow kids going there.
Yeah, they used to have it was like a after club.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd go there and work out after practices and stuff.
He's got a barn, an actual barn. I don't know if it's still going. I mean, I've been coaching many years, but I'm assuming it is. But no, very cool. What was it like? So
that was after me.
Yeah. That would be a few years after. What was it like? So, what age did you move to the East Coast again?
I was probably 10 years old. Yeah, I came from California. We moved to Lawrence.
Well, we're having some technical difficulties here. Hold on here. Oh, we still got you here?
Me.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on here. Oh, we may. Let's see if we got you. It looks better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay. I think you just froze. Okay. There we go. All right. We're back on. Now, what are 3 things that everybody should know about you?
I mean, I'm a huge sports fan. Obviously, that was obviously described in the bio. Loyal to a T, and I don't know. I'm passionate about what I like. Like if I get into something, I try to get into it and try to stay into it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of. I think you're a lot like me in that aspect. I think about a lot like that. I sometimes just get addicted to things without even really trying.
Oh, that's a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah. No, good. Well, I got to ask you. So the money question we ask
Sure.
everyone on Let Freedom Ring. This is the big one, and this is sticking to the theme of the show here. What does it mean to you to be an American?
Wow. it means everything, actually. Like, you go about life doing the right things, taking things for granted, but then you see things in the news that kind of makes you wonder what the other side's like, and it's disheartening. It makes you proud. Um, the whole thing is you just got to keep moving forward. You just got to keep doing the things that you need to do to survive in this world. I mean, politics alone, like, it distracts you. Like, it gets you going. It gets everybody fired up. But I'll tell you what, as far as politics go, I have way too many things to worry about at work. I got way too many things to worry about at home. I don't even pay attention to it. So I just do what I do to be a good American, get out there, help people out, support, just try not to be a jerk.
No, I think that's good. I mean, I think people get too wrapped up, not only the politics, but like there is so much more to being an American than politics. There's so much more to, like, we are this melting pot of people living in this American experience. I mean, we're celebrating our 250th anniversary as an independent country. That's not a long time. In
No.
the history of the world, that is not a long time at all. That's a handful of generations there. So, no, I think it's a good answer. I mean, and really, I think what you're saying is live the life that you want.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to maintain doing what you got to do, man. And honestly, the people before us kind of instilled that in us. They set the path, they paved the road, they kind of trained you how to live life and go through the motions. Things are different now, obviously, with the exposure of everything in life, and you know the almost the magnification of everything. But we still maintain, and we still go on with our values, and we look for advice, and we fall back, and we still make mistakes and learn from them. That's key.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It's kind of crazy you think about like us growing up, because even what we're doing right now, and even you look at like social media, is like when we were growing up, we didn't know what everybody was thinking 24/7. You know what I mean? Like
Not at
I
all.
don't. I had no idea what, unless someone told me something. I didn't know what they were thinking. We do live in an era where not everybody does it, but a lot of people put everything. There's a lot of. I mean, I put stuff online. I don't try to get into. Everybody's going through struggles. I don't need everybody to know every little thing, but like, when you talk about the politics, it becomes such a cesspool of that online. And you're like, do I need to know every? I mean, you have the right to say it, but like, I don't need to know what everybody is saying
Hmm.
or
You,
thinks. Like, just go vote.
yeah, you almost know without knowing.
Yeah, they never told me, but I saw it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Times have really changed since we were kids, and I love that. I mean, I love doing a show like this. This didn't really. You had public access, which is where Let Freedom Ring came from, but I would never have been able to do a show like this, at night from home, back
Yeah,
then. So.
100%.
I want to get into this because this is something that I love and I know you love. And a lot of people, before we actually met, they're like, you got to meet Gary. He's a huge wrestling fan and he's right up your alley. So I got to know, when did you first see professional wrestling?
Oh wow, you're talking global wrestling federation. First wrestler that I could remember seeing would probably be a toss up between Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert
Oh, wow.
and the Lightning Kid, aka X Pac.
Sean Waltman. So
Yeah,
wait, was this on TV or did you go?
this was in TV. Like,
Oh,
they
okay.
played it like every so often, and you'd catch it because you wouldn't have a schedule.
Yeah.
But every time it was on, it would always be the same, 3 matches. But it would always be the Lightning Kid and Hot Stuff. They'd always be, and Barry Horowitz, honestly.
Oh, I'm Facebook friends with Barry Horowitz. I've never met
Oh,
him.
that's amazing.
I just
That's
added him. He
amazing.
accepted it. It's funny because Lightning Kid X-Pac, I remember, so I was big growing up. I would always have, my mom got me the first Pro Wrestling Illustrated that I ever had was like the 1991. And that was like my favorite. I don't know where it is. It was like the favorite magazine I ever had. And Lightning Kid was in there as like this upcoming, person. And I thought it was USWA is where I read it. But And then he was on Monday Night Raw by 93 and had the biggest upset at that point. Monday Night Raw was very new. Enhancement talent, jobbers never beat the actual featured stars. Did you see that match live when he beat Razor?
Oh, 100%. I wasn't there live, but I
Yeah.
definitely watched that on TV.
Yeah, because they were filming at like the Manhattan Center like
Yeah.
every week back then. But that
Yeah, and it
was
was like a capacity of like 300 or something.
yeah, those crowds were great. And you just never saw that happen. And it made you actually feel like anything could happen on Monday Night Raw because the jobbers never beat the other guys.
No, never.
Which what's kind of funny about that, speaking of Barry Horowitz, the next jobber to win a match would be Horowitz over Skip, I think Skip. He beat Candido. You
Yeah.
remember that in like '95?
Yeah, it became a thing where the under guys started winning.
Yeah. Yeah, that is now were you like back in the day, were you one of those, I was always more passionate towards the World Wrestling Federation, but I also would always watch WCW too. Did you have a preference as a kid?
I mean, I'm a WWF, WWE guy, but I would always watch the live WWE Raw, and then I'd watch the recording of whatever the Monday night show was. But I would always make sure that I watched both. And I want to say they had a replay at like 2 a.m. too. So if you missed either one of those, you could actually catch it afterwards.
Yeah, Nitro, I think sometimes Nitro would replay like right after. I was recording every night. I record Raw, flip to Nitro during the commercials, and I'd be recording
Yeah,
Nitro at the same time.
yeah,
But
that's amazing. Yeah, I'd watch one right after the other somehow.
yeah, but you know what I also loved was my favorite show was like obviously Raw, but I couldn't always stay up, but like WCW Saturday Night, 605 TBS, Dusty Rhodes, Tony Schiavone. I absolutely loved WCW Saturday Night. I don't know if you remember like the robotic like entrance thing that
Oh
they
yeah,
had.
yeah,
Yeah.
with all
Yeah.
the smoke.
Yeah. And they were
Yeah.
filming in front of like people this was a great idea because it was cheap to make. But they were filming I believe in Orlando at that point, and people would be in the park and they'd say, come be in the audience while we record a wrestling show, and they would record while the fans would watch for free.
And just brought them in. Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
That was just definitely my favorite era. What do you think was the moment that made you a fan?
Oh, Hogan versus Warrior, definitely WrestleMania 6. Don't get me wrong. When I watched Global, I loved it, and there was something about it that made me tingle. But that Hogan Warrior match, it put wrestling on the map. That's where I sought out all the shows after. That's where I looked for all the magazines every time I went into the grocery stores or the drug stores waiting for a prescription. That's where I, would try to find out when shows were on or people were coming around or any shows were coming. Like that's when I actually put the effort into be like, what the hell am I watching? Rather than, oh, this is just another cool show.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania. Did your parents let you order the pay-per-view, or how did that work?
It was tough because early in wrestling, I would always mimic the moves on stuffed animals or whatever, and I would get in trouble for it. So it wouldn't ever be one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you can't watch wrestling because you're out of control. Or so I literally caught it sporadically at that point in my life until I became fanatical about it. Once I became like really, really into it, I think that there was a spark in it, and probably my father was just like, okay, I'll let him have this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was definitely controlled before that because I'd jump off couches and elbow drop cushions and,
Yeah, I
just
mean,
be a kid,
and that's one of those that WrestleMania 6. I mean, that's the first time we're talking they headlined a major show like that with a babyface versus a babyface, because that
Mhm.
generally never happened
Right.
back in the day. Now I know you're a big Warrior. Like you have an Ultimate Warrior tattoo, 2 Hogan tattoos, I believe.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
would you say those are your two personal favorites?
Oh, absolutely. All three of my favorites. Yeah, I have a bunch, but the Hogan tattoos are definitely the good and the bad are definitely my favorites. And I'll tell you what, there's a really good dude that did them for me. His name's Dan, and he works right in Hooksett. And I'll tell you what, this dude does phenomenal work, obviously. But
No, that's super cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, Warrior. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have revisionist history, and I think I was messaging you about this. We're like, you watch the Hogan documentary. I don't care what Bret Hart says. When Hogan won the title at 9, I was going absolutely crazy. I think
same.
a lot of people crap on WrestleMania 9. It's one of my favorite WrestleManias. It was the first time it was like outdoor. You did not expect Hulk. I remember getting on the school bus. I was in second grade. My friends, because my parents would let us, we had a big neighborhood of kids, and we would host the pay-per-views. Well, I had my friend Colin at the time. I had to go home early. I get on the bus. I'm like, you won't believe this. Hulk Hogan won the championship. Yokozuna won it, but then Hulk Hogan won it. He's like, what? Like, I thought that was an amazing moment.
No, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And do you think it would have been a different effect if it wasn't outside? Like if it was stuffed in an arena, do you think it would have had the same effect?
I think that's what made it unique. But honestly, if you look back on that card and you see where, like, what people don't talk about a lot is how drastically the WWF roster changed from 1992 to 1993 because of all the steroid stuff going on,
Of course,
where
yeah.
a lot of the guys that were featured at the end of 92, where's Davey Boy Smith? He's not there anymore. I just one off the top of my head, right? Like a lot of those guys, LOD's not there anymore. The list goes on and on. So I go back and I watch that, and there's a lot of guys on that show that didn't have like these giant lengthy careers in WWF. Like, Tatanka's on that card. Giant
Right.
Gonzalez. A lot of people criticized how his wrestling ability. Giant Gonzalez was a freak of nature, size
Yeah.
wise.
Yep.
Matt Bourne was still Doink at the time. He ripped, he had the other Doink showed up.
I
The
mean, if you
entertainment
think about
value,
it, the Giant Gonzalez wasn't always the Giant Gonzalez. He was Elegante. You know,
Elegante, yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
I
what I
remember.
mean? Like he was somebody before that, so the discredit isn't real. Like he was established before he was Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, and to be honest, because I was watching both. So if you look at WrestleMania 9, if you were watching WCW, all of a sudden you're seeing Giant Gonzalez on WWF. You're seeing the Steiner brothers in WWF. So you're seeing a lot of different guys on that card. I also
Luger,
enjoyed
right?
Luger was the narcissist. He wrestled Mr. Perfect
Yep,
on that
exactly.
pay-per-view. So the only criticism I'll say, and a lot of people will probably back this, is why is Randy Savage on commentary? Why are they not? He should have been in a match on that.
It's because he lost his retirement match.
No, he was reinstated though.
Oh, at that point he was, yeah.
Yeah, he was reinstated to face Jake Roberts. So
He just liked talking, I guess.
yeah. But yeah, I look back on that one very fondly. I know Hogan, you could tell Hogan had shrunk a little bit. There's a lot going on, but
Everybody shrunk a little bit.
oh yeah. But I mean, a lot of stuff you see is like the crowd was sick of Hogan. I don't think the crowd was ever sick of Hogan in WWF. I can say that he didn't when he was the red and yellow in WCW. That didn't last. That Southern
Right.
audience is Ric Flair country. It always will be. And I just think it's revisionist to say, I go watch WrestleMania 8 and watch the pop Hogan gets to face Sid Justice. Every punch he throws, the people are going bananas. This guy, it was just as over as he had ever been.
Ever been.
So I could talk about that forever, but I
Yeah.
want to know this. Who would you say, and it could be your favorites, or you just think who deserves to be there? Who's on your wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Oh wow. Okay, Hogan. Warrior, not for wrestling, obviously, because he was a terrible wrestler, but just the allure of the guy was just incredible. Andre, and I got to give it to Flair. So
Yeah.
Hogan, Warrior, just personal. Andre and Flair. I mean, there's definitely other guys that deserve to be up there, but if I had to pick four, it would be them.
Yeah, Andre's one I always leave off, but I'll tell you this: growing up at the time where I started watching, Andre had the WrestleMania 7. He was already on the. He could barely walk,
Right.
So I didn't see a lot of Andre the Giant growing up, and I look back on it as like just as a kid, his impact was very minimal to my fanhood because he was already kind of done.
It was the
Um,
Princess Bride. That was
yeah,
where he was introduced to a lot of people.
yeah, which I gotta say, like broke barriers, right? Like, because
Yep.
that's before Hogan's doing movies or anything like that. So Andre definitely, I like that pick. Warrior, obviously, people will get very
Of course.
debatable about that. I do say though, as a kid, nobody was cooler than the Ultimate Warrior.
Exactly.
Nobody. And he cut a promo. I have no idea what it was about, but I thought it was the coolest. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen.
With the tape?
Huh?
With the tape?
Yeah. Oh, that was one of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're
Take the
talking about.
take the pilot who has already made the sacrifice. You know.
I love
Uh,
it.
but I will say this though too. When I started watching, Warrior would just come and he would go. He would come
Yep.
back and you'd be so excited and he would be gone again. So it was
Yep.
always hard to like invest in him. And in from like '92, they brought him back. He was gone, and I think they don't bring him back again until '96. Wrestling had changed tremendously at that point, and he just
Yeah,
wasn't
it was just
convincing.
different. Yeah.
I will
And
say
not
real
not
quick.
to mention that he was kind of a piece of shit too, so he wasn't
Yeah,
really a team player.
Jim Hellwig was a guy goes into wrestling for money, but I do think they discredit his impact on the business. And I do want to say when he was champion, they never put him in the main events. If you look back, Hogan was still headlining the shows.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, um, I got to ask this. So, obviously, you have your Mount Rushmore there, but there's a couple names, right, not on there that I would want to see what you think of their impacts.
Sure.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, The
Yeah,
Rock,
that
John
that was a
Cena,
big one. Yeah.
and a lot of people now, people are talking about Roman Reigns being a potential Mount Rushmore guy. What do you think of those guys and their impacts?
I mean, honestly, if I could make 2 or 3 Mount Rushmores, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Because I could definitely fill a couple, and it's you're talking all these names from literally 90 on. What about 60 on? Like,
yeah.
there's guys that
San
like
Martino, yeah.
exactly. There's guys that like are getting buried because of all these other guys, but it's so impactful for them as well. But yeah, I could build multiple Mount Rushmores. But Austin was, I'd say, number one merchandise sales, impact. Once you heard that glass break, it was on. Like Triple H, even, the pops that guy used to get, especially locally, because he's a local guy.
Natural guy, yeah.
Oh my gosh, like that would make the hair on your arms stick up. But Austin, once that glass broke, the combination between the music, his attitude, just everything worked for that guy at that moment, and it shouldn't have.
Society was changing, but this is also why Hogan is one to me. And I'm gonna throw a little scenario at you here and tell me what you think. WWF at the time, 94 and 95, was not very good business. Um, WCW had its struggles too. Like wrestling which is kind of the rise of ECW, right? Because they started to be that alternative. But WCW is kicking WWF's butt in the Monday Night Wars. Who was the reason?
NWO.
Hulk Hogan turning heel was the biggest thing.
Yep.
So you look at the WWF, and I love Bret Hart. I love Shawn Michaels. Those weren't the guys. Those weren't the guys that were gonna turn the page. WWF had to create new stars, and then they got Gehrig and Mantle in the same lineup with The Rock and Austin. But I don't think you see the rise of Stone Cold unless WWF had to answer what was going on in WCW, which spawned from Hogan.
Right, 100%.
So when people ask me who is the greatest wrestler of all time, and I don't care how great Hogan could wrestle. If you ever watch his Japan stuff, he didn't
Of
need to
course,
do that.
he didn't,
Nobody, yeah, he didn't.
and
No one had to hit.
he'd admit that.
Yeah, he just had to throw some punches, hit a leg drop, body slam, and the
Yep,
fans would go home happy.
and Hulk up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
What are some of your favorite storylines, or some of the best storylines you think that have ever been told?
Honestly, the invasion was great with the NWO coming in. When Nash Nash and Hall would tease it and be like, "Oh, we got a friend, we got a friend." That was something to me. That's for WCW, but WWE, anything Mankind did was awesome. That dude was just another character. He brought it to another level, and then he performed, and he outperformed everybody in worse shape than everybody. That dude is something special, and he is one of the nicest guys ever. But
He really is.
But storylines, man, they did. I like the Tatanka one when they made him go undefeated for a long time. I mean, Goldberg's always great, but I do. I'm into this whole Roman Reigns head of table. Like I think they could probably reintroduce it with new characters. I think Zilla's coming, so and they got to bring Solo back in. I think so.
I'll tell you, the bloodline thing was probably one of the best things that's happened in wrestling in the last 20 years. And man, they got so many people involved and even resurrected, Sami Zayn. What do we do with Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn does his best work with the bloodline that I had ever seen. I mean, comedy, serious, everything you want is mixed into one thing,
As a support guy.
Yeah. And, it's unreal stuff. But yeah, I agree with those. Tatanka, I got to say, when he lost to Ludwig Borga right before the Survivor Series in Boston, the foreign fanatics and the All Americans, and they started taking out people first, and he beat Tatanka, and I was like, oh, I relived that, and I did not want him to lose.
Yeah. They had him go undefeated for a long time.
It was a couple of years, and Tatanka was, and when he turned, I'll tell you this, I was in third grade at the time. I never saw at SummerSlam 94 that Tatanka was the one that was going to turn heel when they were alluding to Luger being part of the $1 Million Corporation.
Yeah.
And the whole time it was Tatanka, because you never saw that coming.
No. I figured Tatanka would have been, straight and forward the whole career,
Yeah. He randomly comes back in 2006 to be Matt Hardy's tag team partner. Like, how more random can you get?
Straight.
Now I want to talk about this. We just got home from softball. What got you into playing in the crazy world, which could be a reality show? Softball should be a reality show. Maybe that's something we'll do. But what got you in the crazy world of slow pitch softball?
As a kid, my dad played. He was a hell of a third baseman. Hit bombs, and I remember going to the field with him on, during the week. And it wasn't like a weekend one where we do on Sundays or whatever. It was one of the ones that like could play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it was. And it would be like 1 or 2 games a week. And I remember having to go to the field with him because he was a single father, so he'd have to like take us. And that was the thing we did. So it was like an automatic, like, as I got older, 16, 17 years old, when I went to the games with him, I'd obviously do the batting practices and warm up with them and got into it. So once I got old enough to actually start playing, I joined an adult fast pitch baseball team.
Oh, wow.
Because I never played baseball in school. I wrestled and, I played football, but I never played baseball. So that was all new to me. So I was like, all right, I'll try to play some baseball as an adult. And I joined an adult baseball team. And then I transitioned into softball. And I'll tell you what, I would never suggest that. Softball, first tournament I could remember ever going to was probably 98. I went to the Poconos. I actually just talked about this today. Went to the Poconos for like regionals or whatever. We were Team New Hampshire, and we played like all the teams around, like Team Massachusetts, Team New York. Team New Jersey and all that. We ended up winning it. But that was my earliest tournament. That was, geez, it's almost 30 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So you've been playing a good amount of years then at this
Oh,
point.
yeah. 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 And not effectively, but
Now
yeah,
what
I
keeps
swing a little bit.
yeah. Now were you always a pitcher?
No, I came upon pitching probably about 10, 15 years ago because nobody else wanted to. And and I was like, hey, I'll try it. And I
Yeah.
think like the first couple of batters I faced, I ended up like striking one or two out. And I was like, oh, this is easy. And
Yeah.
I've just done it ever since. So
Nice. What keeps you playing in all these years?
the camaraderie, like I love being with people, man. And honestly, like I might, get a little mushy about it sometimes, but everybody on my teams, man, I love them, man. Like everybody's great. Like I try not to play with douchebags, like not to use the language or nothing, but like
Yeah.
there's been teams that I've been on where you just don't even want to show up because of attitudes or, you know, just bullying or, just that. So I ended up just transitioning into a rec league and it's so much more relaxed. Don't get me wrong, I still love my men's leagues and hardball league and big field league, but these rec leagues, man, if you want to just show up and have some fun, I would highly suggest it for anybody. Get out there, stay loose, run, throw, catch, laugh, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think sometimes people get carried away sometimes, and even myself sometimes, where it's not that serious. It's just it's a recreational thing. We're lucky to still be playing. And that's my community, and yeah, that's what's the most enjoyable about it.
I grew up, you play until you can't, and then
Yeah.
you go bowl or something.
Yeah, I think my goal is to be like Legend, playing at 69 years old, and so he can still play the outfield. It's
That's it,
insane.
man. Get it done, man. Like I said, there's plenty of leagues out there that will welcome you at 69 years old.
Dude, it's crazy because last couple of years, I'm just pulling up the fan questions. I want to be ready for the next segment. But Legend would play in the men's league with 20, 30, 40 year olds. And then he would go play with the seniors and he'd play with the seniors in the morning. And then next thing you know, he's playing with, everybody else at night. It's just crazy.
And you know what that is? That's legendary.
Yeah. I mean, he owns that title
That's it.
as the legend.
That's all.
But I want to get into this, and we got a good amount of time to do it. You had quite a few fan questions, and we want to make sure there were so many I didn't even write them down. I'm going to go right off of Facebook here. We're going to make sure every question gets answered. That's
Thanks,
why we do
everybody.
it. Yeah, you got a lot. So, first one from Julia Lopez, one of our teammates. What is the most challenging sport in your opinion?
Definitely high school wrestling. There was
Yeah.
so many different attributes that made that tough. There's something about learning the same thing as somebody else and trying to be better at that than them. But then there's something about learning the same thing as somebody else, trying to stop that.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. Then you get weight divisions. So me, for instance, I was 171 and I weighed in at about 169 every week. So I was very close, very close. So I had to be very careful.
Oh,
I couldn't eat too much. Like it's a dangerous sport. It's rewarding because it's one on one, but that is definitely the hardest sport I've ever been into.
you'll,
I
you'll
did
never
I
be
did
in
it.
better shape.
Yeah, I did it in all through high school, and I coached kindergarten through eighth grade in the Derry Boys Club for a couple of years. So I would go from my practices to their practices, and then go on their tournaments on the weekend when I didn't have any. So I love that though. That was awesome.
I couldn't agree more. And I've played a lot of different sports. Played football, played rugby, played baseball, played track, ran track. Nothing's like wrestling. Nothing is like wrestling. And I think most people will agree. I mean, you're the only one out there. and it's you against the other guy or girl, and you're using every muscle in your body,
Yeah.
and it's not. I remember Kendall Cross. He was an Olympian. Came down when I was in the National Boys and Girls Club as a kid because I same as you. I wrestled at the boys club, and then I wrestled throughout high school. And Kendall Cross came down and said, they always say there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. He goes, there's tears in wrestling. He goes, wrestling's an emotional sport. That
Yeah.
happens, when you
And
get to that.
blood.
There's, and we're not talking, there's all, it's an emotional sport. I mean, say you get to, the finals of a tournament or anything, and you have this goal and you don't achieve it. It can be heartbreaking. Some people, there's tears from, all their hard work and it paying off. So there's crying in wrestling, maybe not in baseball, but,
100%. But
um,
that's a very easy answer. High school wrestling is the hardest sport I've ever been a part of.
yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Anthony J. Crisulio, I hope I said that right. He said, what's your favorite thing about softball?
Like I said, meeting new people, playing with those people weekly, and building relationships. Don't get me wrong, striking people out is fun too, but no, my number one is literally just being with the people I like and having a good time.
I agree. I mean, I'm not going to remember winning random games on a Tuesday night, but I'll remember the people that were there and the memories, so I agree.
Yeah.
Jacob Howard says, Gare Bear, my favorite pitcher. When was your first cruise and how many have you been on? What made you fall in love with cruising as you did softball? Your favorite first baseman?
All right. Cruising, I've been on 5 or 6. I started probably, I go on one a year or so probably 5 or 6 years ago. My favorite one, I think, was probably the one most recently because I actually did a all-inclusive on the beach this time in Cozumel. And it was spur of the moment. What happened was I had a cruise booked and we got rerouted to Nova Scotia, which is kind of bullshit when you're planning on going to Bermuda.
Sure.
So going to Nova Scotia was just kind of a buzzkill. So as soon as I got home, I was like, screw this, I'm booking another one. So I ended up booking another one, and it was probably my favorite one just because I sat on a beach, had some drinks, just relaxed, man, instead of worrying about where I'm going, what I'm doing.
I've been on one cruise. It was a good time. It was definitely
Oh,
a
I
good
love
time.
it.
Many
Absolutely love it, man.
Angela Susie, and I have not. I used to play with her in Merrimack. She said Gate Bear, but meant Gare Bear. Who's your all-time favorite wrestler and why? I think we know who your all-time is.
Yeah, I'd say Mr. Hogan. Yeah, I'd say yeah. He's definitely up there, Angela.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, his era was unbelievable. Wrestling's not where it's at. It's not mainstream without Hulk Hogan.
I will say the best good guy ever and the best bad guy ever.
Yeah. I remember reading Ric Flair's book, and he said, if you want to talk greatest of all time, you got to be able to do both. He goes, I love Ricky Steamboat, but Ricky Steamboat could not be a heel.
I agree.
Hogan, if a lot of people would have probably believed that about Hogan, even though he was a heel before, if you watch the documentary, you may know that.
You ever meet Ricky?
Steamboat? No.
No, I met Ricky, man. He was completely like mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally same motion for everybody.
I can see that in interviews that he's had. I think he's, but
nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Steamboat. I mean, again, not a guy that was when I first started watching was really he was wearing the dragon stuff. Then he went back to WCW, but he's not on like my list of favorites because I didn't grow up watching a lot of Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, he was probably a little before you too.
Yeah. Sunshine Marie Dorsey wants to know, what's your best memory from high school?
Holy shit. All right. High school. I don't remember much of high school. Let's see. My favorite memory of high school would probably not be a good one, but I used to I used to sneak into lunch. We had 6 lunches a day and it would be broken up. So I would skip class to go to lunch 4 out of the 6 every day. Just to hang out with my friends.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, those. Did you go? Was it Pinkerton? Is that where you finished?
That was Pinkerton. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was Pinkerton.
Nashua was like that too because there's just so many kids at the time.
Yeah, and
you
that's
know?
it. But I would try to set it up with my resource counselor where I'd have like a study hall surrounding lunch, and
Yeah.
I'd skip study hall and go to lunch. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
Joe Anderson, she has quite a few here. We're gonna try to bang these out. As a diehard New England sports fan, what's one moment that you truly defined your loyalty, and why did it stick with you?
Loyalty. Buckner, definitely the disappointment and the constant letdown made me hope for more, and then it paid off.
Took some time, but did.
Yeah,
Um,
but
we
I'd say
talk about.
that's probably what defined me as a fan.
I'll say this with loyalty to me, I'm from New England. I'm from New Hampshire. I'm always in root for the New England teams and the Fighting Irish and Notre Dame. That's where but a lot of Notre Dame fans live in this area. But that's really what's up. Like I have a soft spot for the Braves, right? My grandma was a Boston Braves fan, but like I will never, and I don't know what your opinion is on this. We've talked about this on the show. I don't understand how you can be from New England and say, I love the Dallas Cowboys, or I love the New York Yankees, or I love some random team. It's like you have no ties to that, unless like your dad or something. That fanhood always drives me crazy. And the people that live here, that have always lived here, that hate the Patriots, I'm like, you don't make sense. You don't make
Yeah.
any sense. You know what I mean?
See, I love my Pats, but I have a soft spot for the Bills.
Okay.
You know, because of the 4 in a row.
Yeah, that they lost.
Yeah, and plus I'm an OJ guy, so
Okay, fair enough.
yeah,
I've been to Buffalo twice. I've been through a table.
yeah,
It's not a
that's
bad
awesome.
time, you know.
Yeah, I actually went to a Patriots game in Buffalo. I saw the Patriots game that Tom Brady threw 4 touchdowns to Randy Moss in the first half.
Oh,
I was at
geez.
that. I was at that game in Buffalo. It was 56-10.
I'll tell you, they hate us there. I
Yeah,
was there. I wasn't even there for a Patriots game. My buddy Jesse's a big fan. We went to see one year we saw the Niners, one year we saw the Titans,
yeah,
and we saw a guy wearing a Celtics jersey. He was wearing his Isaiah Thomas jersey. Figured he was a New England guy. And we're like, yeah, we're from New England, blah, blah, blah. He goes, Tom Brady's not the best. Admit he, and then they like circling us up. I was like, dude, I'm not
Jesus.
going to fight you guys over Tom Brady. Like,
Right,
calm
right.
down, but
Philly's pretty bad too.
yeah, yeah.
I
Philly,
went to an Eagles 49ers game and I wore a Patriots jersey. And they were like,
oh,
"What the hell?"
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
There's no that's not the city of brotherly love. Trust me, I've been there a few times. I don't feel the love there, even when I'm
No,
not wearing sports gear. I'll tell
I
you.
agree.
So,
I agree.
as I'm wearing like the ECW hat, that tells you something how rabid those fans are for
It's like, can
wrestling.
we go around Philly?
Yeah. Oh my God. If my friend Moore is watching this, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
um, she also says you're into traditional sports and wrestling. What do you think the world of each gets right about competition and storytelling? What could they learn from each other, I
I,
guess?
I mean, it all boils down to the ancient competition. You know, there's a winner, there's a loser. You know, I don't think it's about getting anything right. I think it's about maintaining the consistency and having a
Yeah.
fairness.
I don't want storylines in pro sports. They tried to do that with the XFL. Not good. Not
Unless
good.
it's expected.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, they write the sports write themselves, right?
Exactly.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Slow
You
pitch
go into a
softball.
comedy knowing you're going to laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But hopefully
Yeah.
you're
Right. Theoretically.
She says slow pitch softball has a big community aspect. What has playing taught you about teamwork, friendships on and off the field?
It taught me everything. There's so many different types of people, man. And you have to, how could I say this correctly? You have to, almost bite your lip Like there's people you're going to upset no matter what you say. You could feel 100% you're right, but you're going to be wrong. So you got to value what people feel and what people think and kind of think about that before you approach anything. But the community, I love it. I love it. There's more good than there's bad. And honestly, the bad weed themselves out. So it's being a part of these teams and being positive and accepted is what kind of keeps it going. Like if I was on a team where I felt like I wasn't liked, or I felt like, oh, they just don't want to use me, or I suck, or they're not making me feel good, there's no positive reinforcement, that's not going to make me play. The fact that I show up and these people want me there and they make me feel like they want me there keeps me coming back. It keeps
I
me
like that.
it keeps me happy doing what I'm doing, and it makes me feel like I'm doing right by it.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. Um, she also asked, as a dog dad, be honest, who's got the better quality of life? You or your dog living rent free with unlimited attention?
Oh, for sure him. Oh, for sure
Yeah.
him. Foley Jack is spoiled to all hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Wyndham right here. He's just
Oh yeah.
chilling.
No, he's at
That's
my
why I had to open the door.
yeah, he's at my feet right now, so he's
Yeah.
cool.
Justin Fiore, and this is a good one. If you could have dinner with your favorite athlete, who would it be?
Dinner. I think it would probably be Hogan. I met him, nice guy, but just to kind of get the full circle, I
Sure.
think I'd have to choose him. Now, if I was to take him out of the equation because he's kind of an automatic pick, probably Brady. There's
Okay.
probably a lot that I could ask, and dude's very knowledgeable. So, as far as legendary status, it'd probably be him. Yeah.
He's got a statue. You
Yep.
know.
He's got a statue, man. It's huge.
KPG Kendall Payne Glover, member of the Four Families, good friend of mine. He has 5 questions. Would you? Some of these are a little over the top. Would you risk losing one eyeball for one more Patriots Super Bowl?
No,
No, no. I don't need. We got enough. We're
that's
good.
it. That's an easy answer. Now you have to ask me if we didn't have any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we didn't have any, but we don't. We have plenty. Like.
Yeah. So I'm good. I'm going to keep my eyes,
Yeah.
or at least one of them. Yeah.
Randy Orton or John Cena?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. I've learned to appreciate John Cena, but Randy Orton was my guy. He still is my
Yep.
guy.
And he's still going.
Now this is a good one. I kind of excited about because there was a lot of releases in WWE, and some you knew were coming, some maybe not. Did the New Day deserve to be let go? I don't even think they were let go. I think they chose to not take a pay cut. By the way, I think is what happened, but I don't quote me on
Yeah, they were signed until 2030 at a certain amount, and they wanted them to renegotiate and cut their salary by 50%. They didn't want to do that, which I wouldn't either. With the amount of money just in merchandise that I've made that company, yeah, that's an unfair ask. So, I mean, I honestly at that point would allow them to do what they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I think that company, Kofi Kingston did a lot for WWE. A
The
lot
New
over the
Day,
years.
the New
Yeah,
Day,
nothing bigger.
no,
Yeah,
like just the merch sales alone were astronomical. These guys should be coasting the rest of their career.
I'll tell you this though, they didn't fit on the show anymore. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There was,
I agree.
the heel turn didn't really work. I don't believe, like talk about Ricky Steamboat. I don't believe Kofi Kingston as a heel. It's not it doesn't feel authentic to me at all. Consequences Creed. There, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Austin Creed. Yeah.
But why can't I think of his
Let's
WWE?
be honest. The dynamic changed once Big E got hurt.
Yeah, when Biggie got hurt, Xavier Woods, I'm blanking.
Yeah,
I can believe him as a heel. I could.
yeah,
Kofi, I don't see it. And honestly,
yeah,
their time was up, and they had a
yeah.
great run.
I
But
agree.
they should not have to be told take a pay cut.
I agree.
I would have done the same thing.
100%.
If I walked into a game with no practice and pitched no hitter, would you be impressed? How impressed would
Every
you be?
single time.
Yeah,
Every single time.
yeah. Not a lot of no hitters in slow pitch softball.
I,
That's
I
for
will
sure.
say though, like indoor this year, I
Yeah,
almost threw two, man.
really.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
came to the last inning without a hit.
That's wild. I know it happens, but it's so rare. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
rare.
100%. I was getting excited, and then somebody had mentioned it, and I was like, "You suck."
Here comes the cookie.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Any advice for a dog? Any advice for getting a dog?
Yeah, just make sure you have the time, the attention, and the love. And honestly, it's it's a ride, man. Like it's not like a 2 year thing, and oh, I'm sick of this. I got to sell it. Like no, you got to follow it through. Like it's a live thing that is relying on you to love it forever. So
Yeah,
don't give up on it. Make sure you have the room for it. Make sure you could feed it. Make sure you could financially afford it, and make sure that like a car, when it breaks down, you got to get it fixed.
keep a rainy day fund. Have extra money on hand. I'll tell you this. I love Wyndham. I love him unconditionally. Like I don't know what I'd ever do without him. And if you feel like that about your dog or getting a dog, then you're doing the right thing. You know.
100%.
Um,
If you
Casey
can
Nolan.
supply, if you could supply the love that that thing needs, do it because
Yeah.
it deserves it.
And get them plenty of like walks, especially like with the dog my size. He's got to get his walks. I can
Yeah,
tell the difference in the winter when we're struggling to get out there. Now that spring, we're out, we're on the go, and he needs that. He's a bigger dog,
yeah.
and
It's got
so
long legs, man.
yeah, he loves his walks, right, Wyndham? And then Casey Nolan, 2 outs, bottom of the 11th, extras. Okay, would you take your odds against Pedro or Randy Johnson? One must pick one.
Oh,
And
I'm
P.S. I love
batting.
you. He loves you.
I'm,
Yeah, I guess it's yeah.
I'm gonna have to take my odds against Randy because I would hate to light up Pedro and piss off Red Sox Nation.
I'm taking Pedro, man. I don't want to be facing Randy Johnson. I've been scared. I'd be ever since what he
You'd
said to John.
rather face Pedro than Randy.
Randy
Pedro was
Johnson.
like dominant.
Randy killed a bird,
He
and
did though. He did though. And he was like 7 feet tall.
yeah, and he threw that ball over John Kruk in the All Star game, which was one of the best moments
Yeah.
ever. Like Randy Johnson's was an Pedro too, but like Randy, his size, like he's an
Yeah.
intimidating presence.
Yeah, I'd have to do it just based on the Red Sox Nation fact. I couldn't disappoint them by hitting a home run off of them and shattering their dreams.
I saw them both go in the Hall of Fame the same day. That was pretty
Oh, that's
amazing.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Danielle Lamarade. Hope I got that right. If you could be, if you could be a wrestler, who would you be? Who would you want to wrestle the most?
Oh, want to wrestle. Huh.
Yeah.
Somebody I could beat. Probably Dink.
Tank. Yeah. Wonder if he's still alive.
Actually, no. Let's go on a limb. Let's say Barry Horowitz.
Very all right.
I like my chances.
Charlie Lynch, what do you think of the Charlotte Hornets?
Oh, Jesus. I used to love the Charlotte Hornets as a kid, man. I loved the colors. I loved Muggsy Bogues. I loved Alonzo Mourning. I loved Larry Johnson, Grandmama. I
Oh,
loved them all, man. Del Curry.
Family Matters, yeah.
Yeah, that was my team when I was a kid, man. That was before I was obviously a New England nut, but I love the colors, man. The colors popped. I was in junior high.
No, I'm glad they brought them back. The Bobcats, they never really cared for that.
Yeah.
Charlotte Hornets always had the very, very cool, unique colors.
Yeah. Honestly, I think my very first Celtics game was, a Larry Bird and Robert Parrish game against the Charlotte Hornets with Alonzo and Larry Johnson, and I think I was more of a Charlotte fan there. It
Really?
was crazy, yeah.
I mean, what a much better time in the NBA
Yeah.
it was back in the day.
Yeah, you had full teams of stars instead of just one.
Yeah, exactly. Julia Lopez has another question. Also, seeing that it's Health Awareness Month, what does it mean to you, and what do you do to make sure you take care of your mental health?
Mental health is important to everybody. Like, I can't stress enough that you need a battle buddy. You need somebody that you could rely on, that you could call, that you could talk to if you need to. Not everybody likes doing that, but it's a good source to get out what you need to get out. Especially if you trust the person. Like with me, I'm lucky enough I have a daughter that I could talk to that I there's no judgment there, so I could literally just unload everything on her if I need to. You guys got to find somebody, because you know holding everything in is damaging, and that's been proving over and over and over again. Softball is a good outlet for me. Find a hobby, find community. There's plenty of things. Yard sales, go out, meet people, go to the grocery store, walk around for a little bit. Get out of your damn house, especially if you're festering, especially if you're overthinking, especially if you're depressed. Like, get some light in your life, get positive, get people that are going to make you laugh and make you smile and make you happy and make you feel good about yourself. Like I said, some days are harder than others for some people, but those hard days, make sure you make the effort to make those days better. That's my only message about that. It's up to you to make you feel how you want to feel.
No, I totally agree. And yeah, reach out to listen. Like, we're all on this floating sphere on our own, but there are people out there, but they're not, you gotta take care of yourself, and you have to use outlets, the things that are out there, whether it is talking with a friend, whether if you have a substance abuse problem, whether that's going to AA, whether you need um a therapist. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of those things. I do think it's good to get out. I know a lot of people struggle in the winter, and right now we're in a really good period, right? Because we're in spring, we're going to summer, we're fall, everybody's favorite seasons. It gets a little bit easier, but the winter too can really take a lot out of people. So you gotta stay active, stay doing things, and life's hard. Life's hard, you know.
Yep. There's an automatic depression in winter. Like, that's a proven fact. Like,
Yeah.
but like I said, it's up to you, man. Nobody knows what you're feeling. It's up to you to share that. And if you don't want to share it, do what you can to make you feel better without sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't feel like I do think therapy is a great thing. I really, really do. And it can help. So if it's not comfortable just talking to somebody that or there's things that you don't want to talk to people about, look into it.
Yeah. Even write letters, man. Like, you don't even have to, get personal with anybody Like, there's people out there that you don't even know that you could actually just write a letter to and get a response, or an email, or, where it's not personal, and get the advice you need. When we were kids, there used to be like a 1-800 number that you could call and get like advice for daily struggles and stuff like that. I don't know if there still is, but there should be. But there's definitely sources that you can reach out to make you feel better, and get on a right track. And even if it's hitting a meeting, like, don't get me wrong, like, even if you feel like you don't have a problem or you don't have a history of substance abuse, go to a meeting and get perspective. Go to a meeting and try to help, or give advice, or be a sponsor, or like if you're in a good spot in your life, make a difference. Help somebody out. Help a neighbor. Reach out. If you know somebody struggles, somebody in your life that has a constant struggle in their life, or has a constant poor me, or a sob story. We all do. but you guys know those people that need that help. Start reaching out a little bit more.
No, that's good. I like that. It's a tough thing. It's talked about more than ever because this was definitely not something when we were kids that was ever discussed. It's the truth. When we were kids, you were having a hard time. You didn't say anything,
No,
right? That's how those generations were, and we can be the difference. So I
yeah.
think it's important.
Stop being a baby is what you got, or
Yeah, toughen up.
oh,
Yeah,
life's tough. Get used to it.
wear a helmet or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, stop crying. Yeah.
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 Danielle Keogh wants to know what's the hardest struggle while you were recovering from your surgery. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I had surgery in July. I was out of work July to December. I had a triple surgery on my shoulder, my throwing shoulder, actually. I want to say the hardest part was probably sleeping, because you'd automatically want to turn over, and once you do, it just wakes you up and you're up. I had to actually sleep at a recliner for a little while because I just couldn't get up and down, and it was my right hand, so everything was difficult, and I'm not a lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hardest part was definitely just getting comfortable, I think, because I was in a pillow sling for 6 weeks. Yeah, it was a while, but no, and now the hardest part is confidence. So like throwing a ball and stuff, it's like I know I could throw it, but I don't know how hard I could throw it yet. So I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, it's never easy. I've been there too. It's then your body just is like that's just your body now.
Yep, and that's it, man. That's it.
We've hit the hour mark. We're gonna speed round these so everybody gets their questions in. Randy Spivey says this might be easy one. What's your favorite, most memorable New England sports moment?
Favorite, huh? I like the I like when the Patriots had the snow cleared with the plow guy.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorites. To kick the
No,
field goal against the Raiders, I think it was.
that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That whole run was just oof.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorites. That's an easy one.
Nora Rabashad wants to know what was your dream job growing up?
I wanted to be a phys ed teacher.
Ooh, I
That
did
was my
want to do that
dream
at one
job.
point too. Yeah.
Yep.
That is a dream job, definitely. What piece of advice would you give your 5-year-old self if you could go back in time?
Start wrestling now.
Yes. What's your idea of a perfect partner?
Oh, Jesus. Perfect partner. I have no idea. Still single. But yeah, no, if I found perfection, I'd probably still be with it.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship, but let's
And
just
that's
make
it,
sure
man.
or a perfect partner. Like that's if the biggest thing and I'm not a relationship expert, but like you either take people with their good and their bad. There's no such thing as perfect. So
My biggest thing is loyalty, man. You got to be loyal, and I have to be able to trust. That's probably the two biggest things.
yeah. No, I there are some loyal people though that will gaslight, and their definition of loyal is a little crazy too. So you got to be careful, but no perfect partner. I really,
Never.
you know.
I just want to find good enough.
Yeah, or just someone that makes you happy, someone you
That's
enjoy
it, man.
spending
I want
time
to
with.
smile more.
Yeah. What's your favorite sports team? What's your favorite sports team? I love baseball. Mike Martin. Which one would you say is your favorite team?
Oh, it's a toss up between the Red Sox and the Patriots.
Yeah, like Patriots. As I've gotten older, I've just
Yeah.
more to the football. Colette Roy, what is the best thing about being a grandpa?
Oh, I love those kids. Yeah, my daughter had twins,
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, it's great. Just the smiles on their face and just the pattering of their feet, man. It's great. They're wonderful little girls.
Nice. Foley Jack, that's all I have to say about that. Best dog around. They all said, hit send quick. Where did our love of jellyfish come from?
The cruises, man. Cruises. Jellyfishes are awesome. So mesmerizing, man.
Charlie Lynch, hi. So I know you have lost many loved ones, family members, including your sister. Can you tell us a little bit about her and how her passing affected you, as well as the other members you have lost? I know it's kind of a grim, but uh, but there are a lot of people that have lost people that I care about. We don't have to go through this one too quick. You know
No, I got you.
it's a pretty serious
Uh,
question.
yeah, yeah. My sister was 18 months older than me. I lost her about 10 years ago. She had addiction issues. Nobody really knew about. Like it kind of surprised everybody. Um, we were very close. I mean, she was my only sister, only sibling. I actually have a joke now where it's like, yeah, I had a sister, but now I'm an only child. But no, I mean, her passing was tough, and it was tough for everybody. Like at the time she passed, she had a daughter that was like 7 months pregnant. Um, so it was definitely bad timing. And since she's been gone, we miss her all the damn time. She was a wonderful girl. But
Yeah.
as far as my mother goes, I mean, I lost her when I was 10. She obviously had, substance abuse issues too. Yeah, I mean, people lose people, man. It's the falling down and getting up. You gotta find what in this life is worth fighting for. And if you're not worth fighting for, you gotta find the other reason. With me, it's my daughter. It's my grandkids. It's getting up and going to work every day to maintain the life that I'm living and push forward and be a good American and pay my taxes and maintain. But you just gotta keep fighting, man. Like losses come, but so don't wins. You know, and
Hope we still got you, Gary. We've frozen. Let me see here. See if this returns. We still had a few other questions, but we'll see if we can get through this. We might just be frozen here. Oh, there he
hello?
is. Hey, can you hear me?
I'm back. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, perfect. No, I think that's great advice. I mean, it's not easy, but you gotta pick up and keep moving. And we're not none of us are
That's
here
it, man.
forever, you know, and we gotta enjoy the time that we have, you know.
That's it, buddy. You know, you gotta find the things worth living for, man.
Yep, I agree. Um, Dan Lynch, this is another tough one. Well, yeah, he just said, Gary, this might be a tough one. I know your mom passed when you were young. Do you remember her? And did someone step in to fill that role for you?
Yeah, I lost my mom. It was 3 days after my 10th birthday. No, I never really had that fulfillment, I guess. My dad had, multiple wives and girlfriends, but nobody that really took that type of role. We did have one lady named Renee that she was around for the most time, but I mean, it was probably my fault too because I was defiant. Like I
Mm.
wasn't the nicest kid to be around. My life changed probably when I turned 21. Um, but I was a difficult child, man. I had an attitude and I was violent, and I like to fight. You know, it wasn't easy to get along with. So for somebody to kind of fulfill my mom's role, it just
Oh, hold on, we might be frozen here. Gary, can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay, we're back. Yeah, no,
yeah, I could hear
that's a
you.
tough. Yeah, that's definitely tough, and I don't think anybody can ever replace a parent either. I think that's,
No.
So,
Especially if you don't let them, and part of that's my fault,
yeah, but it's part of growing up too. Like things, we do the best we can. John Dan wants to know. We've kind of already gone over this. Favorite sports moment was probably the Raiders Patriots.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. We'll just answer his with WrestleMania 6, Hogan and Warrior.
I love that. I might watch that match again now tonight. Melissa
Awesome,
yeah. If you could be on a sports team, which cruise has been your favorite? What's your dream job? All right, real quick. Sports team, if you could play on one.
Red Sox.
Favorite
Fenway's
cruise?
magical.
Yeah.
The last one, Cozumel.
And dream job?
Phys ed.
Okay. Haley Nicole, is this your daughter?
That's my daughter.
All right, we have to ask these. Okay, we have to. So Haley wants to know, what was your earliest achievement in a sport?
Probably the Poconos tournament. That was a big one. As far as adult sports, young sports, obviously, I got my wrestling medals and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say that those two. So wrestling as teenager, and softball as a young adult. She actually still has my very first place trophy.
Oh, she does.
I gave it to her like 20 years ago. Yeah.
Who's one person that made you want to play sports?
My dad. Just being at the field every week with him.
What one sport you never played but you wish you could try in the future? Ooh, I like that.
Oh wow. I think pickleball. Don't get me wrong, like it's frowned upon, but I'd like to try it. I played tennis for a minute. I like that. So I imagine, pickleball could be an old man tennis game.
I'll join you. I've been dying to try that. So.
Let's get it, man.
Let's see. What's the best advice you give someone going through active addiction?
Oh wow. Like I said, reach out. You got to reach out. If you are going through something, you need to find your person. You need to find that support. You need to find that avenue that makes you feel whole again. If you're in a hole and you're crawling to get out and you're grasping at all straws and you're running out of air, we'll say, you got to do something. You can't just sit back and wait for it. You have to realize that you have an issue. You have to realize you have a problem, and then you got to take the steps to fix that problem. But just like they say, the first step is,
Sorry.
You're not going to fix something until you know it.
Hold on. Gary, can you hear me? I think we're having technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I just want to say that too. Definitely, as a recovering alcoholic, it's not easy. But the first thing that I would say is, if you really are struggling, there are people out there to help. Picking up the phone to go to treatment is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. That phone felt like it was 1,000 pounds. If I didn't make that call, I'm not talking to you right now. So I would say, get the help, work on your recovery. For me, it was AA. That's not for everybody, but I can say, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. There is stuff out there if you reach out. But I'll tell you this, addiction, alcoholism is not a battle you're going to win alone. So
you need the support. You need the support. And I will say this, anybody that we know personally here, reach out. Like, I am here. Even if I don't know you, I am here to help you. You reach out, man. I'm here anytime you need. You see me on the softball field, come say hi. You got a new friend in me, man. Like, I'm very easy to get along with. So don't be afraid, and like I said, if you need somebody to talk to, I don't care how serious, I don't care how not serious, reach out. And I'm sure Dan feels the same way.
Yeah, there's just so much, and there's so much knowledge out there on addiction, on alcoholism, and I'll tell you this: like, I thought, I could nip that thing for years, and I couldn't. I had to. There are people that have come before me that have figured this stuff out, and you gotta
Yeah.
be willing to listen to them.
And
And
everybody's different too.
yeah, and there's all types of things that people do. There's all types of different programs. Al-Anon is one, but I do think if you are really struggling from, like, if you are the level of alcoholism I had, like, I mean, I had the shakes, I had everything. I had to be in a rehab. If you are addicted to or a treatment rehab, same thing. But if you are dependent on hard drugs, or you're an addict, you have. I will just say this to anybody: please take care of the medical piece. Please take care of the medical piece and then figure out the rest, because especially if you're suffering from alcoholism, you do not need to die from withdrawals. They can help you make sure that doesn't happen. So
And
that's it.
also you really need to think about your environment. Like, you need to think about what's around you and what's motivating you to do the things you're doing. Like, if you got people around you that are doing not such good things, it's going to want, you're going to want to do those things as well. So you got to really kind of adapt to your situation and know what is conducive to your well-being,
100%. She also wants to know, if you were in the WWE, what would your stage name be?
Oh my. What's this? My daughter still?
Yep.
Daddy O.
Daddy. I like that. And she says her last comment, "Love you, Dad," in all caps.
I love you too very much.
So, love that.
Only forever. Only forever, though.
And last question from Lisa Giampalo. I don't think I said that right, but I'm sorry. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you on a cruise?
Worst thing, huh? I probably found about 3 or 4 different types of Long Island iced teas. That was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me on a cruise.
So it's overall a good time.
Yeah, and I don't drink. Like, I'll drink on a cruise, but like throughout the year when I'm not on cruises, I don't drink at all. So it's like that's my time to like almost let go. So when they introduced those to me, I was like, ooh. But by 2 a.m., I was like, oh. Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And then last question here. If you were a wrestler, which would be Daddy O, what would your signature move be?
Well, I always like the short arm clothesline turned into the end of days. I like that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And my other move would be the leg drop.
Just a signature to Hogan.
That's it, man. That's the setup. We'll do the end of days as the finisher.
Yeah. Well, Gary, this has been a blast. I know we went a little long tonight. I want to make sure everybody's questions got answered. That's a big part of Let Freedom Ring. So we got through them. And if you have any other questions, go on the post. I'm sure Gary would be more than willing to answer them for you. So any final thoughts?
No, man, I appreciate you doing this with me, man. And it's been a lot of fun. And I definitely look forward to seeing you on the field.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Well, everybody out there, have a great rest of your week. Keep your heads up, and until next time, let freedom ring.
Thanks, everybody.